Hey guys, so Duke was here. Yes, I'm back with another great live stream. Obviously covering all our hot topics in Transformers Earth Wars. So thanks for joining me, guys. As always, like I said, covering hot topics, and this week is no different. Apologies for last week, guys. I'm still a bit nasally, still a bit of a cold. I get a lot of colds, I'm not gonna lie. Like I always say, never been in hospital, never been overnight. I've been for bits and bobs, like, I've had stitches, things like that, but I've never been in hospital. But colds, it's my kryptonite. But apologies, guys, but we are here. A bit nasally, a bit snotty, but we are here still. So apologies for last week, guys. But this week, obviously, I think the main talking point is primes. It still is. We're going to talk a bit about, well, a lot about primes in this week's stream. And how we're going to see them going forward, how they're going to be in the game, how I sort of see them working, and maybe some sort of roadmap, maybe. Talking a lot about primes. But as also, guys, as always, if you've got any question, guys, stick it in the chat and I will do my best to answer. So obviously we have some subjects that I want to cover, which we'll cover in the stream. But if you've got any questions, stick it in the chat. But let's have a look who we've got in the stream today, guys. Let's have a scan. So we've got Crota, who is first. It feels weird to be first, but someone's going to be first. We've got Ricky Lau, we've got Giga08, we've got Andrew Stevenson, we've got my buddy Cheeto. Go and check out the video we did together about base design. Really cool guy, give us some top tips. We've got Blade 19 as well. We've got one of my moderators, Tracks, as well. Good to see you, another moderator. And longest serving member is Grind Time. Thanks for joining me, bud. Good to see you as always. We've got Deshaun, we've got Volcanica69, welcome back. We've got Jeff M, we've got Jason Rowley, we've got Carnage Mac, alright. We've got Hellraiser, we've got Jay Roberts, good to see you back as well. Good to see you in the stream, buddy. It's been a while. We've got Darklands as well, Juan Gomez, Rager Horn 74. We've got Matt here, we've got Chris Harmon, good to see you back as well. It's been a while since I've seen you in the stream, I think. We've got Gamer Boy 12 because finally a TF Earth Wars live streamer, and I've only been doing it for 5 years. Where have you been, mate? Where have you been? Who else have we got? We've got Autobot Phil as well. We've got Candyman. Good to see you, buddy. How's everyone's 5-star Cyclone going? I thought when it came out we'd hear the end of that, and we're still hearing it. And then we've got someone with a Chinese name who I can't pronounce, but hello to you anyway, and thanks for joining the stream. Darklands, we're going to ask that question during the stream, so don't worry. Gearboy 12, do I have an alliance you can join? Obviously not my alliance, it's quite high level, but I'm sure there is. If you look on Discord, there's plenty of alliances looking for members, so I would advise you to go and look on Discord. Did I just go really light for some reason? Oh my god, it's a bit weird, isn't it? It's really light. I always want to do that. Let me just, I look really pale. Let me just turn this light a bit away for a minute. There we go. There we go. Cool. And RG as well with the clutch at the end there, just saying hi. Welcome to the stream as well. Cool. Right, let's jump straight into this week's newsletter. So, Barry Grana with Ninny Wong, this weekend's event is called Fuel Up, which made me think they named this very last minute. Like a lot of things. But this week's event is a individual totalizer, 50,000 individual XP event with Mega XP. So the battles offer 25% more XP than Super XP events. And during this event, offensive combiners will deal 40% more damage, 40%, and take 40% less damage in event battle zones. So I've been asking for this for quite a while. where we've been asking for Ruination to buff 4 events. We've actually buffed them all, which is mad. I'm not going to lie, because some of the combiners are already good. They're already very good. I was using a try with Computron. Is not as effective, but in terms of events, Volcanicus I think is the best combiner to use. And I was leveling with Volcanicus at weekend, but still struggling in that zone 17. Still can't do it without Ruination. And so I think with this increase, I think Ruination might see a bit of a return. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. So rewards, 250 fuel cells that don't go to inventory, but that's another conversation in a minute. But it's good to see some fuel cells in events, maybe. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. We'll talk about it later. 50 shard crystals. Obviously, a mixture of 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 star shards in them. Premium shards. Don't need them. Got more than enough of them. 50,000 Megatronus Prime Spark. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then some normal Spark, Combiner Spark, Combat Spark as well. And as you can see there, it's an equal chance between the 5, 4, and 3 stars. Shards in the shard crystals, and then the layout of the event. So I don't know why they keep changing this. They changed the look of it, which didn't look right. Now they change it back, and it doesn't look right. Just go back to the old way. It looks fine. It looks alright. Then we've got battle zones. It is normal mode. It isn't mayhem, sadly. So it is normal battle zones, sadly. And then game updates and information. So I'm going to read this out because it is quite important towards where the stream is going and talking about as well. So it says, we want to take a moment to address the recent release of Megatronus Prime during last week's event. We know that some players experience issues, and we want to thank you for your patience and feedback as we continue to refine this feature. Our team is fully committed to getting it right. The release of Megatronus Prime is only the beginning, and we're actively working on improvements to ensure this feature not only functions smoothly, but also delivers the exciting gameplay experience you deserve. We believe Megatronus Prime and the feature that this brings has the potential to become a cornerstone of the game, and your feedback is an important part of shaping its success. We're dedicated to making it better and rolling out more awesome things in the weeks ahead. Thank you for standing with us as we continue to grow and improve the game we all love. Important information there, like I said, that I want to talk about, so we'll talk about that later. I'll come back to it. And then they've also teamed up with the Transformer store, Battersea Power Station. I think they finally got a hold of their social media accounts, so Facebook, X, and Instagram. It's been about, what, 5 years, but they got hold of it finally. Let's give away some comics to players, and you can, I think you can enter into the links on social media there. So go and check that out, guys, if that's something you're interested in. They're taking leader council applications. If you're a leader of a alliance or family, then go and apply. They've got some bundle, which is the leader crystals again, we got given in the events. They've now made them into a bundle, which will be available this weekend. And then they've got a new bundle, it seems, which is fuel cells, Cybercoin, Spark, and Gmetal XP core. I'm hoping, listen to my feedback, and I was like, why have you got half the coins, half the cells, but then put a Gmetal XP core in those bundles? They're a waste. All you need to do is on a big event, just bring out the normal bundles, but throw an XP core in. People will pay it. We'll have to wait and see. Megatronus Spark bundle as well. Each bundle contains Megatronus Spark. And don't forget, our web store provides 20% extra loyalty points on purchase. There is a 10% code, 10% off with Fuel Up. 10% off your highest price item. So not 10% off basket, guys, just 10% off your highest price item with Fuel Up. So you can use that until the 9th of October. There's no saga schedule yet. No one knows what's going on. And then go and check out your content creators. Obviously myself, Soldier, CF, and Freesius. Freesius normally would stream straight after me. So once you finish my stream, go and check out Freesius Max, who's the content creator, and go and check him out as well, guys. No team stream for the time being. And that is everything. So let's go to the chat and see what everyone is talking about. Yeah, Dartle's the point might be able to do PL this event. As in Zone 17. Yeah, Zone 17. Yeah, I used to live on Zone 17, so I don't see why not. Cheeto is going to ham this event. Ham? I presume it means smash it. Resk Mikey as well, welcome to the stream, and London's calling as well. Joseph Torillo as well, welcome to the stream. Justin Brilliant as well, join the stream, good to see you. Dartlands obviously talking about the problem with deploying Prime. We spoke about last week. It is a bit hefty. I thought I'd reduce it, but no. Justin Brilliant just put, I just wish Ruination and God Nature would be restored as original 5-star versions. They can't, sadly. Because I do understand that the way they were working was not ideal for elimination. I mean, that's another story. Do I think that Ruination being able to destroy the HQ with his hollows in elimination was a problem? At this point, no. When Zenitron was really important for upgrades, then yes. But now I kind of see it as a catch-up mechanic for new players to go and chase him. So I don't see it as a problem, but they do. Now, because they see that as a problem, I understand they had to fix him. I kind of get that. Although I disagree that he needed fixing. But I understand it. But, yeah, he's nowhere close to what he was. Yeah, Cheetah's what is horrible for war. I agree. I only use it for events. I don't even use it for events. Volcanicus for events, Computron for wars. That's the way I sort of do it. What else? Mr. Bears put AI generated apology response probably. RG's put with the artifact sorted, surely they could work on bugs on sort of a 4-week schedule. I think they'll try to get back to the 8-week schedule again. I think that's the idea. John Downey, groupies, brackets. So is the plan going to be introduce Prime going forward like this new Prime bot option with Megatron as opposed to with Alpha trying to better Prime? Yeah, I imagine that's the long-term plan, is going through all the Primes and releasing them one by one. What else? Hellraiser, there needs to be a path for new players to catch up. I do agree. I do. I mean, don't get me wrong, leveling has never been so easy. XP has never been so easy to get. Bots have never been so easy to get. 5-star bots have never been so easy to get. Combats have never been so easy to get. The game is a lot easier. But my problem is not with that. It's with base design. That is the problem. And research. Yeah. Dalton's put Magna ruin comp and elimination mode to get points. No, they can ban and get points to release the Prime. Yeah, fair. They need to do quite a lot of AoE damage, don't they? So, yeah. Darton Shanix is not the route for new players to catch up on Z. No, it's not. I agree. Yeah. Shanix are quite hard to come by for new players and in raids, and they've got to put a lot more effort in than obviously top players. And obviously, they use it for other things as well. There's quite a lot of things you can use Shanix for. They need all sparks still. So I kind of understand that, yes, you're right, that Shanix for Zenitron is not an option for lower players. But hey, that's why elimination is there, though, to be fair. They just need to give them a way to, catch up with that and do well in it, really. But let's be honest, I don't think most top players are playing elimination, so they can use it as a catch up. Gameboy, the Alliance, go on Discord and have a look. If you go on Discord, there's literally a section where they advertise for alliances. I know that there's no space in my alliance, but to be fair, like in my alliance, you need to literally be a maxed out player with a great war team It's very difficult to get in the top alliances. There's very high standards. So, and even if you were maxed out with a great team, they still want some evidence of war participation and being a top level player. So you better start a bit low and go up. Yeah, I would. My advice for new players that are going to try and find an alliance is just find an active one. There's too many players that try and set up their own alliance. There's too many players that try and join a low level alliance, and then all of a sudden, then they find that if they set their own alliance up, they get just loads of people just they don't play the game basically, and just there to get free resources basically. And then obviously if you join another alliance, there's still gonna be people like that. So I would advise joining a big family. One of the big families like Prime, obviously Horde, like G1. Join one of those alliances. They have loads of alliances you can join at the bottom and work your way up. But look for the lower ones and go from there. I'm actually in G1. That's my family alliance. And if you're really stuck, then you can either hit me up online or Discord and we can find you a spot. But obviously trying to get in the top alliance is quite difficult. Metapair. What is what good for? Making egotistical people. He's not wrong. Yeah, Dartles has put most alliances have ladders to move up as you get stronger, which is very, very true. And they're quite fair with it as well. But it's all based around wars. So a lot of top players talk about war teams and war scores, and that's why some people were like, "Well, what do you do in events?" In top alliances, they don't bother about event scores much. People will finish the event. The big one obviously is war scores. Yeah, and Krotos put war's the only reason I log in. Same for Cheeto too. Yeah, agreed. Cool. Right, let's get into the game. Cool. So someone asked about my Prime. So this is the base I'm going to use for showcasing something, but Brent Lime. So yes, I am currently at 52 rank 4. Got my Megatronus to level about 50-ish, 51-ish, and then realised it needed 20 mil XP and was like, nah, not about that. Yeah, Matty's, but I get a lot of us are struggling with having lots of useless resources. Just worried that the addition of primes on top of bots and combats and combiners and titans puts new players off. I suppose it's just more to collect. It depends what you're playing the game for. And I've said it before, and it opened my eyes when I interviewed the Arrow DJ Hart, and it kind of made sense what he was saying. But he said that he doesn't like bots that you can't power level with, basically, or do well in, beating bases solo. So he hated Rook. He hates healers. And I was like, well, why? And it's like, because I don't really play wars. I play events. And the bots that can solo a base are the bots that I want to level. And bots that I can level. Trying to level like to Rook and healers is almost impossible. And I kind of get his point. I was like, yeah, okay, I see that. And so I understand that some people play the game for wars. Some play it for events. Some play for other reasons. I mean, Dale was even saying to me, there's some players out there that just collect the bots. They don't level them. They don't do events. Well, they don't do wars. They don't do anything else. They just do events to get bots and then just keep them at level 1. Like Pokemon almost. I mean, I don't play the game like that. I think it's a big waste. But, hey, if they want to play like that, hey, who am I to tell them they can't play like that? Everyone up to their own choices, basically. Cool. Let's go straight into the first subject, which means going back to the newsletter, because I want to bring a point here. So, what happened initially was the apes said that because of all the problems in last week's event, because Prime's getting frozen in the lab, because of outpost bots not working, they said what we're going to do is going to compensate people when we've worked out who was stuck and who wasn't. And I understand that's a big task. I understand that that's going to be quite difficult. So what they said was, and what I heard through the grapevine was, they're going to reward people with some fuel cells. I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Maybe things are changing. Maybe they're tacked around rewarding people when things go wrong. It's going to change. I was like, okay, I don't mind that. And then obviously they released the event. So the idea was to put some fuel cells in the event to reward people for last weekend. But the problem I've got with this is that last weekend was obviously a mayhem event. It was quite easy to get to 50k. I got to 50k without even trying, in really honest. But like I said, I was ill, so I didn't spend any time on my computer hardly until Saturday night, Sunday, pretty much. So very little. So I bought a fuel cell bundle, smashed some points out, and sort of left it like that. But my issue with this event is that when you talk about compensation, compensation is normally something given to someone to say sorry. Like, here we go, we're sorry for that. Here you go, have this as a sorry from us. But putting something in an event that you have to play to get that, I don't see that as compensation personally. I don't think it is. And especially when they put it at 50k and it's not mayhem. So to complete the event and get all the 250 fuel cells that they are quoting, you have to spend. You can't really get 50k free to play. With the new combiners in Zone 17, I still don't think it's possible. Some people might prove me wrong, some people say it can, maybe, but I'd say for most 99% of players, it's impossible. So we're in a sort of predicament here where we've been given some compensation that we have to spend to take full advantage of. And I don't like that. These are the kind of things that really get my back up and really get me a bit frustrated. And the last one was that we spoke about compensation, and I think it was Dale came in the chat, but it's not come from Dale, obviously. And we said, "Well, why did I give compensation when things go wrong?" And some of the jokes were, "Well, because too much stuff goes wrong, they'd be compensating so much." Is that true? I don't know. But Dale said that, and this has come from Hyro before as well, so I know it is coming from Hyro. And he said that we don't give out compensation because we give out free crystals. And that baffled me. Because I play Marvel Strike Force here and there. And they do compensate players. And you also get free login stuff while you're there as well. Quite a bit of free login stuff. A lot more than Earthwars, if I'm honest. So, I don't understand why a free crystal that gives you 1,000 spark, a 2, maybe a 3-star bot if you're lucky. Things like that. How a free crystal with a boost, maybe even, makes up for an event where there's a problem with it and they should give compensation. I don't understand that. I don't understand how a free crystal is even in that conversation. And there's plenty of games out there that do compensate players, and it's just a goodwill gesture. And I've said this there before that at the minute, the Yoda One name around Earthwars does not go down well with people. People don't believe in the team. People don't have trust in the team because of things they said they do, and they're not done. They change things without it being required. They make things different without actual talks to the playtesters and stuff, and release things without talking to playtesters, and they do this time and time again. So it's not like it's a new thing that this has happened in the last couple of months. This is years and years and years of this happening. So they've kind of lost the trust of the players. And so the last thing you sort of need is to be a bit stingy with stuff and have that persona that you are quite tight. Especially at a time around now where there's been quite a few mess-ups. And so, yeah, sad that they're stuck by the guns and there's no compensation per se, which is disappointing, really, considering all the problems that people had in the previous event. Now, personally, I don't think they've done it in the past. They have. It's some here and there where they've gone, here's 100 cells, put it in inventory. What's the problem with that? You know, if I had 100 cells in my inventory, that's going towards an event. I'm going to play that event. And even if you do give all these cells out, let's just say that they gave 100 cells out every month as compensation for something every month. And then by the end of the year, I've got 1,200 cells. I can't use them fast enough without coins. So you understand, by giving that compensation, I'm still going to buy coins to get through it. Yes, I'll spend a bit less, granted, let's be honest, because you're not then going through your coins to buy more cells, but I've still got to go and buy coins. It's a double-edged sword. If you've got fuel cells, you need coins. I understand not giving coins out as rewards. You need something that's quite rare in the game, but I don't understand not giving fuel cells out. And when they do, they don't go into inventory, so you kind of use them on the go anyway. You can't say them when you really need them. So, I don't really agree with it. I'm not really happy with it. It's quite disappointing considering where the game is at, and they're still being really tight resources, which baffles me with how flooded we are with resources right now. But it's what it is. But let me know what you guys think. Is this enough for the mistakes of the last event? Is it good enough? And I feel it's a big help to actually complete the event. 250 cells for the event. It's not meant to be sniffed at. Me, I'd like an inventory. What would you guys prefer? What would you guys like? Michael Nicholson's put, so with the primes, what was the idea behind them, as in how to use them? I know we only have one, but how do you think they will change things moving forward? We're going to talk about that soon as well. Yeah. Blade 19's put, that's what I was saying, since the release of this event, it's not compensation. Yeah, it's definitely not. Yeah, Blade 19's put, the worst game I've ever played for compensation. I kind of agree with you. Most mobile games give compensation out. Hellraiser, that's mental, isn't it? It is. Mattis put, they have totally flooded the game with crystals and shards in metamakers and combined game bundles over the last 6 months. They really can't be arguing there is a game economy reason not to compensate. That's a very good point. It is. I'm going to call my point about that next. Yeah, everyone's sort of saying, yeah, it's not. Yeah, Jeff M10 free meta makers for everyone. It's just little things like that. Just something you're like, all right, nice, you know. Yeah, Grant has put, that's not giving us compensation. It's giving us prizes for playing. Yeah, it is exactly what it is. Yeah. Cheetos put, I'm overflowing resources. Me too. But the only new content that doesn't require any of the resources I have make it make sense. Agreed. Yeah, Autobot Phil's put, the compensation literally costs them nothing. I don't really like that phrase, though. I get what you're saying. I get it. But let's just say if they gave everyone, let's go extreme. They always do this, for example. Let's go extremes to prove a point. Let's just say they gave everyone 1,000,000 5-star shards. It does cost them something because no one will ever need 5-star shards again. So we can't say it doesn't cost anything in that sense. It doesn't cost them money. I get what you're saying, but it does cost them in terms of money, revenue. It costs them in terms of revenue. But if they give us 10 metamakers or something like that, or they give us 100 cells for inventory, it's not going to kill the game. If it's going to kill the game, then yeah, I understand you have to be careful, but that ain't going to kill the game. Yeah. Cool. So on to the next point is, as someone pointed out, so with what's happening recently, with the flood of Metamaker bundles, the flood of 5-star crystals available in the store, the flood of Dino Gate crystals, what's happened is that the game's become a point where a lot of resources in the game are so available to everyone that people don't really need resources anymore. So, looking at my resources that I have, so I've currently got 3 million 5-star, but I've currently got 3 million Prem shards, which is about 3,000 Prem crystals. I've also got 689,000 4-star shards. I've only got 10,000 or close to 5-star shards, but that's because I'm not pulling my 4-star crystals. And then let's not talk about the 14,000 crystals or so that I've actually got in inventory as well. And the problem with this is that for a long time now, the game's been quite stale and there's not been many new features coming out. And we need some reason to get 5-star shards. Now, granted, I understand not all the newer players have all the 5 stars and still want 5-star shards. And those bundles are maybe directed at them. Okay. But there still needs to be a use for all these resources in the game. Because even if we look at my combat spark, I've got 8 mil. I've got most of the combats at 10 and 11. BBs are not really available unless you do really well in events. So I don't need any spark. I don't need any new bots really. I don't need combats. There's not much that I do need. And so with the release of Primes, the hope was that this is a new thing to chase. It's a new thing to spice up Wars. A new thing that people are going to need to be competitive at the top levels of the game. But I feel like there's no big resources that people are going to chase right now. Double that up with the point of that Wars are extremely easy for most top players. Now, I understand again, there are players out there that aren't at our level, that are struggling still in Wars, believe it or not. I know a lot of top players are like, what? How are you struggling? These effects are so easy. We've never had it so easy. You can 300 without combining with your eyes closed. I get it, that if you've got maxed out bots and you've got general rank bots and a maxed out combiner 5-star, yes, the game will be easy for you. But I also understand it's not easy for everyone. But that's the problem we have, is that at the top levels of the game is extremely easy. And people are crying out for a new challenge. People kind of left the game through boredom and a lack of any need to level bots, a lack for any need for resources of any kind. There's no reason to really play the game. We need a reason to log in and play. Now, Wars are that, but when Wars are so easy that you can just fly through them in 5 minutes, what else are you logging in for every day? So it needs something to invigorate higher players to be able to play more. Their answer is maybe Unicron League, because they can't put new effects into Prime, because the new effects will alienate other players that can't hack it in Prime. There's still people in top alliances, decent alliances, that can't 300 consistently, even with these effects. Now, me personally, I think back to the days where there was 20 top alliances that all could 300 in a top war with crazy effects, and it was a lot more difficult. Bases have evolved into just pathing problems. That's it. Nothing else is really a problem. With the balance patch reducing Beachcomber, granted he needed it, but with the balance patch of reducing most of the outpost bots to be less effective and increasing attack options to be more effective, I feel like in the next balance patch we really need to focus on some defense bots, because it's far too easy to sack, waste abilities, walk it because of a lack of HP, time is not an issue, and it's become a bit all too easy, but not easy for everyone. So what is the answer? And the answer usually is Prime League, but we're having to open Unicron League to make it that bit more difficult, I feel. If they add effects, they're going to lose players. People are going to find it really difficult, they're going to leave. It always happens. If they don't, older players like myself are going to get bored and maybe go, well, maybe I shouldn't play anymore because it's far too easy, it's quite boring. So they're kind of in between a rock and a hard place right now in terms of this. So what are they going to do? So for me, we've been crying out for the last 2 years for a war rework. I don't think that's even happening right now. I don't think it's even on the table. So let's forget that. Solo wars, would that be an answer? Maybe. I don't think it invigorate the whole game as much as they want to. I think it'd be something new for a short period, but I don't think it's a long-term solution. Should they keep it easy? No, it is far too easy. It's been easy for long enough. People have had a chance to catch up. But Unicorn League also, I think, is not the answer. I think the answer is basically bringing in something invigorating and new, but they're not prepared to do that, sadly. And so we're kind of stuck where we are. So I'm hoping that we can have some new war mechanics, like they put in the newsletter, where they go, stick by us, we're dedicated to doing these things. Well, I ask, where is the war update you've been working on for 2 years if you're that dedicated to it? It's not here yet. 2 years on. What are they going to do about resources? I don't know. But there needs to be a use for crystals. There needs to be a use for 5-star shards, for top players in the game. There needs to be a hunger for a resource at the top levels of the game to make you more competitive. Whether that is Unicron or not, again, it's a different question, but there definitely needs to be a reason for people to log in, for people to play events, for people to war, and for people to want to progress and be the best that they can be without being the same as everyone else. You can look at some top players, they've got maxed out bots, and look at players with level 64, 65 bots, and they're getting same results because there's no real need to really level them that high because it's far too easy. Let me know what you guys think. Are you finding wars easy? Are you finding them difficult? What are you finding difficult about wars? Is it literally case these levels on bots? Should we bring a Unicorn tournament out again? Should we have a Unicorn League? Does it require another league? What's the answer? What do you think some good ideas to make a use for 5-star shards? What's the best ideas to make a use for crystals again? Let me know in the chat what you guys think, what you suggest we should do. Let's see what everyone else is saying. Cheetos put the Metamaker crystals are the best thing yet. I agree and I don't. I've pretty much got my war team all to general now, thanks to those Metamakers. But that's me done now with 5-star shards now. I don't need any more really. Cheetos put, thanks for feeling. I hope you feel better. I do feel a lot better than what I did. I'm not 100%, but I'm definitely a lot better. Dark Answer Support needs something to convert crystals and shards to resources. That's not going to happen. Cheetos put, I only use 5-star shards to rank up to general. I know, but it kind of... I kind of find that right now I'm challenging myself in other ways in the game other than being better at the game. Like, one of the challenges I've got, mad as it is trying to get to 1 million 4-star shards. Because there's nothing else I need to achieve. I'm pretty much 300 in most wars. I don't need to improve in wars. I'm literally playing the 40 game again. Trying to finish a war battle with 40 ability points left over. I'm doing that again. It's so easy. But there's still players dropping. Even in our alliance, there's players that drop still and struggle. So, you know, and it's hard to replace them people because not many people play the game anymore because they're all annoyed, because it's got stale, because of the bugs, because they're not doing enough. All these sort of things. It's a you know, it's a knock-on effect. Krotos solo wars. Yeah, it's something that I mentioned to Dale about a year or two ago, but heard nothing since. Jeff M, we need more spread, more zones, more leagues. Maybe. Autobots Phil's put, I'm hearing a bunch of problems caused by the play to win model. What do you mean by that exactly? Let me know. Blade 19 War should be a lot harder. That should be the top of the game. I also believe the rewards should reflect that. Yeah, I agree. The rewards are pretty crud. Carnage Macarite has bought HU19 needs to launch soon. But it seems like they don't want it to. No, because what happens is every time they increase difficulty by bringing out a new HQ, people leave the game because they get frustrated they can't beat bases anymore. Even though you should understand that's going to happen. But, you know. Yeah, Mattis, but I still enjoy wars, but I set myself challenges around how many bots I use and using different bots. Yeah. Like not using combine and stuff, yeah. But that's the point, you're trying to find yourself challenges within the game other than the game itself. Which I've never known. I've never played a game to whatever level I've played and then had to challenge myself within that game, which is not the game itself. That makes sense. Cheetah's but I know why you didn't think about it. Yeah, it's your fault. Literally. Grotos put, oh, in the Unicorn chat, Dale mentioned Solo Wars in the works, basically a ranked mode. Do you think Solo Wars will revitalize the game though? Reinvigorate people? Don't know. But yeah, Grotos put, it's still in the planning phase though, so it could just get scrapped. Maybe. Michael Nichols has put a war-based version of Cybertron Domination where alliances battle over map regions. Each captured area give bonuses. I don't think they're going to do that, to be honest with you, though. I think it's far too in-depth for them to do something like that. Yeah, like Kai's Macarai has put, has been talk of Solar Wars for years. It literally has, honestly. And War Reworks, which doesn't come. Eros, how's it going? Thanks for joining the stream, buddy. Jeff M, more achievement marks, win streaks, war win streak, prime achievements, days in the game. Yeah, they could do that, but what they're going to reward people with? Because we don't need any resources either at top level of the game. We don't need anything. So what are they going to reward them with for that? And this is the problem, you see. Even if they did Solo Wars, what are the rewards going to be? They need to be substantial to get people playing. FM Fuel, I don't know. Me personally, they're not going to give that much fuel out. I'd rather just buy it, I think, at $20 something rather than compete. Oh, Wheatley. That answers, but coins, it's dangerous though, isn't it? It's dangerous. Once you start giving coins out, then do people then stop playing? Stop paying for buying coins? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Would I play for coins? Maybe. I think low players definitely play for coins. But yeah, it's hard to achieve though. Cheeto make Warlock elimination. It's unfeasible, that. It really is. For higher players, it's a possibility. But for lower players, it's impossible. You can't expect lower players to have 5 war teams. Literally is. Yeah, Krotos put, I wish PvP farming and elimination didn't need fuel cells. I've said this. I did a video on that years ago. Literally years ago. Do it whenever you want, join the league. To keep players logging in every day. I've said this, but for some reason they won't change these things. We need more cowbell. Wait, that's a different game. What you want about right now? What you want about? Meta Bear, who needs war? I'm having fun with my 86 Devastator. Nice. He is a good figure. Just over 16k from player rank 100. What do you mean 16k? What do you mean? 16k coins? What? Yeah, cool. Jason Thompson, will they nerf Sunstreak? Who knows? There's been talk of it. They said they're going to balance things, so things that are OP, they're going to bring back in line. So I don't think they'll ruin him, but I think that maybe if they do, there's talk of a little patch update. But they're talking more about upgrading, changing the costs rather than damage. So the damage will stay the same, but it might get a cost increase. That's what they're trying to do now, is just change the cost rather than messing about with the bot, I think. What's this joke about more cowbell? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It's over my head. Cool. Right, okay. Next up. So next up is an interesting attack strategy. So I'm sure that most of my people that watch me remember that I did a video a while back now where there was a clever little gimmick, we'll call it, where you could drop an airbot with a minion combat, and you could drop it on the outposts and pop them from range. Now, at the time, I said I wasn't happy with it. I didn't really like it because obviously I felt it's a bit of an exploit. But it is what it is. And come the release of Megatronus, people have found a bit of an interesting way to use a similar method. So I didn't like this method, to be perfectly honest, because I just felt like the combat shouldn't be used like that. They weren't how they were intended. But people have found out a new clever way to get around these things. So what we could do now is rather than waiting to drop a combat and maybe get stuck on. Well, when I tried it, I struggled. I was dropping it in the wrong place. I couldn't time it right. It's a bit of a precision. But now what we can do is we can literally throw Blades up there, and as he goes up, we can literally put him wherever we want. And this is obviously a huge problem. Now, granted, you do need to get the points from Megatronus, so it needs to be a back-loaded base. But it takes away any even slight bit of skill that people had around timing the drop of the minion exactly where you wanted it. But this is taking a lot of skill away because you can literally just drop it wherever you like. And again, it's another problem in the game. I've spoke to Dale about the need for this minion drop being fixed. I don't like it. I think that the solution for it is reducing the timer for the drop. Yes, it'll still be quite viable in certain situations. We won't be able to drop it on the side of the pad, which makes it a bit easier because they're the highest points. But instead of coming with a solution and thinking about Megatronus Prime, all they've done is made it viable differently. If not easier, or maybe just different even. But anyway. But sadly, they've got something else now they need to fix. It just seems that they haven't really thought this through. You know, I don't believe that bots should be able to drop things mid-air. Don't think it makes sense. People would argue the case, but I don't think so. I don't like that personally. I think it should work like that. But what do you guys think? As always, viable tactic or not? Should it be like this? Should it stay like this? Do primes need fixing already on the week of release? Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, Cheetos put it's a Saturday Night Live skit. Don't watch Saturday Night Live. Yeah, tactics. How's it going? Go and check out his channel, guys. Don't forget. Darklands. What a waste of prime. Is that a pun on time? What a waste of prime. Is that time? I don't know. Interesting. Also, it feels to unskilled programmers make lots of mistakes. Maybe true, yeah. Kindness Macarites put plenty of skills don't work on bots during their abilities, so I have no idea why primes would. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Freezes Max in the chat as well. Good to see you, buddy. Let me know if you're streaming tonight. I'm trying to send people your way. Trying to. But yeah, airdrop, if I would call it. Yeah, I know people are calling it that. But yeah, I agree. I don't really like it. Cheeto, fix it. Enough cheat codes already. Yeah. Jeff M, definitely a defense killer. That's the point. It makes it easier for players, but I don't think it needs to be because it's already easy. And it just makes defense a bit useless, really. And people that make their own bases, it's a kind of a killer. Krotos put, I actually don't hate it. You need multiple bots to clear enough points. And he'll probably die in the outposts. Maybe. Lumega, how's it going? It's put Wazoo and Cheeto, nice job on that previous Q&A stream. Thanks, buddy. The more people that I know like it, then I'll do more. Ultimate Phil's put, you shouldn't ever be able to drop any bot, including combats, anywhere other than the launch pad. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. Inversely, defenses shouldn't be able to attack or build up spiders or bots on the launch pad. Yeah, that's a bit of a bug, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah. Macaritis put freezers. What to talk about stuff you covered last week? I didn't watch it last week. I'm not gonna lie. I was so ill. I didn't do anything last week. I swear. Last week, I literally just I watched TV. Now, people that know me, I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube. I watch a lot of films. I listen to a lot of music. I don't watch TV. But I was literally on the couch watching TV last week. You don't see that. Jeff Evans put once primes are useful, you might not sacrificing like that. But defenses have to be harder to make it need to have a good prime. Maybe. Gohan Sands, but you don't like the combat drop because you suck at it. That reminds me of Happy Gilmore. You suck, you jackass. Dallas, you breathed last week is what you do. Don't you mean it? Cheetos put thanks, but was lost my freezers never has. Ouch. Oh, sorry. I went so long without coughing. I was proud of myself. Oh dear. Yeah, Dalton's Gilmore. Yeah, I do love Happy Gilmore. I do love Happy Gilmore. Literally, probably my famous film. Famous film? My favourite film, not famous film. I weren't in it. Favourite film of all time. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, like I said, still not 100% right. Definitely there though. Thereabouts. Was that a gerbil that flew out your mouth? What are you on about? Cool. So, last subject of the day. And we're still on primes. Kind of. So, story time with Wazoo. Sit down and get a brew. Maybe not a brew from America, maybe some marshmallows or something or popcorn. Whatever takes your fancy. But, for a long time now, I'm talking the last 9 months or so. Rewind back to November last year, December last year. We found out that the game was moving over to Yodo 1. And there'll be a transition period where things will be a bit rough. And although some people didn't like that, lost quite a few players. It was understandable. It's a big change. It's a big move. And from talk to Dale, there was a lot of things involved. Contracts to be sorted out, negotiations to happen, transferring the files over, which is not just a simple task. Lots of meetings like Giannis and Yoda representatives and what the expectations are, things like that. So I understand there was a lot to happen. Fast forward to March this year. Message Dale was like, when's this getting sorted? When's this going to get fixed? It's like, we're still doing it. I was like, what? He's like, it's going to take a long time. Stick with us. Okay. And then Dale said, listen, we're going to try and balance the game. We've got big ideas for the game. We want to try and do things we've never done before. We've never had the team to do it. We've never been able to do it. But now we're at Yodo 1. We're going to have enough people to do it. We're going to have the team to do it. We're dedicated to the game. Giannis is sort of taking over the game personally. He will be in charge of the game. Won't have to answer to anyone as such. We're behind it. We're on it. Okay, Dale. Okay, I understand the vision. I understand what you're trying to do. Okay. Fast forward to the balance patch. And Dale was like, listen, my vision is I want to balance the game and make it so there's no rubbish bots in the game. I'm like, you know what? I like that vision. I like where you're going with this. I'm on board with it. And even though players are crying, no, I don't want to say crying, it's a bad word. Even though people were unhappy about the balance patch and complaining about it, even Leo Prime who needed it really, I was behind them and got a lot of flack for that. People were like, "Oh, you've changed, Wazza. You've now become a Yodo." I'm like, I haven't. I just understand the vision to make a better game, and I'm behind them with that. That's the idea. Then the balance patch came out, and I agreed with most of the changes. Some were a bit wrong, but because we sort of all chipped in to help, we kind of had to take a bit of the blame. So I was like, right, okay, but although I'm maybe it's a bit to blame as well as other people, like the devs and the playtesters, things like that. I was saying, listen, I'm dedicated though to fixing this and getting it right. So I was saying today, when's the next fix? Yeah, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna have another go of it. Okay. And the second one wasn't too bad, where we saw lights of Sunstreak being buffed and Rust Dust and things like that. It wasn't too bad. It's all right. I was like, okay, maybe buffed a bit too much, but again, it's a new process. Then fast forward again to TF Nation, and Dale says to me, "Listen, we've got something to tell you, but you can't say anything. The primes are coming to Transformers Earthwars." I was like, "Well, I had no idea the primes are coming." He's like, "Well, they're coming very soon." I was like, "Okay, what are they gonna do?" He's like, "They're gonna be pretty cool. I can't say too much. They're still in development, but they're gonna be pretty cool." I was like, "Right, I'm pumped for this. This is the moment we're waiting for. We've been saying for a while that they're going to bring out some new content. It's going to be fresh, and they're going to do things they've never done before, and we should be behind them while they do this and try to improve the game." I was like, can't wait, can't wait. I'll be there for it. And when they announced primes, I was like, guys, listen, this is going to be amazing, guys. It's going to be great. There's great ideas behind the scenes. The team have been working hard at this. This is the next big thing. And then realism hit when they came out. And I feel like, and I said to Dale, I said, I feel like they're somewhere in between a combat and a bot. Because once you drop them on the field, you have no control over them at all. And I was like, what's the roadmap? Because people want to know that right now the primes are pretty crap. And Dale was like, yeah, that's kind of a lot of feedback we're sort of getting. I was like, right, so what's the roadmap then? Surely the team have sat down and gone, this is where we see Prime going. This is what we see them doing. This is why people are going to want them. This is why people are going to need them. And this is why people are going to spend money to keep the game going and keep an income coming into the game. This is why. Here. Surely that was the conversation behind the scenes. Was it? I don't think so. I think that literally it's just a case of just bringing something out, which is quite poor. Because when you think of a bot and think of a combiner and primes being in the middle of that, you would expect them to have a similar impact. Not an impact like a combiner has, but it's better than a bot. But if you said to me right now, would you rather take your prime or an extra Zor? I'd actually take Zor than my prime. Zor has a lot more damage and utility than Megatronus does. And I'm kind of let down because the problem is that there's always been an excuse. So the excuse was they didn't have enough staff when they were at Space Ape, and Space Ape didn't put enough money in. Okay, that is probably true. It is. Then it was, now we've got the changeover. That's why things are not going right. Okay, it's a big project. I understand. Then it comes to the end of that. Then it was, oh well, we need a server engineer to help us with the game. Okay, well, recruitment again. We blamed recruitment 2 years back. And we got people in, and you said that you got enough people for the game now. So Okay, you need a server dev. You got a server dev? Oh, okay, ready to go, eh? Well, no, Unity needs an upgrade now, and we've only got a certain amount of time to do it, so we're lagging behind on that. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be something to slow the process down, but it's not an excuse for not having a roadmap. And I just feel like they've made these sort of promises on things they're going to do, but it's still the same. It's no different, and I've kind of lost faith in the plan now, because the plan was always to improve the game, make it better. And my big thing has always been about choice. Now, when they brought out primes and the idea of it, I thought, oh, I'm going to have 12 primes to choose from long term. And I still believe that could be the case. It could be. And I was always about not only choice, but around balance, and always around new content being better than old content. But you got to think back to the Titan tech tree. You got to think back to Titans. You got to think back to Dispatch. All these things they brought out that have failed. Elimination mode didn't work either. Didn't do well. All these sort of things that they brought out that did really poor and wasn't really thought through, and could have been decent with a bit of insight and a bit of thought behind it. But they kind of took shortcuts. They kind of took the easy way out and the simple way of doing things, and they've done the same with primes. Primes could have been amazing. Primes could have had a massive impact on the way we play the game. But instead of that, they're a bystander. And they're not something people need to chase. Me personally, I do believe that I speak for most people when I say, right now, I don't need primes. I don't need to play events to get primes back. Because even if Megatronus becomes half decent in the future, there'll probably be another prime. But my worry is that why was there no roadmap? Why was there no roadmap on what it's going to do? If they'd have brought a prime out and said, listen guys, there's going to be 20 ranks. At rank 5, it's going to do this. You want to get in rank 5 for now, but when HQ19 comes out, we're going to open rank 10. And rank 10 is going to do this. Then in 19.2, rank 15 is going to do this. We're going to open that. Then in 19.3, we're going to open 20, and 20 is going to do this. Then we're going to have Solus. Solus are going to do this. Alpha Trion's going to do this. These are the primes. This is what they're all going to do. And they're going to evolve over time and improve. And that's where we're going to balance the game around these primes, have an effect in battle. They're going to improve your Titans. They're going to improve your bots. They're going to improve your combats. They're going to improve your defense. They're going to improve the game to make you want these primes and even need these primes. Because without them, you're going to be lost. Q players free to play saying it's not fair. I kind of understand people don't like that. But they need a reason for people to play the game, to log in, to chase new content, to want new content, and to play events. They need a resource for that, which is obviously the Prime Spark, and you need to want that resource. And right now, I could easily get rid of my Prime Lab. I'm actually thinking that the Prime Lab is actually putting me at a disadvantage by having another 3-point building in there. I would probably rewind if I had my time again and not build the Prime Lab yet. Because it's 3 points that you're giving to the attacker. So if I don't need primes, don't really want primes, then what are we going to do for players to want to log in and play the game if people have got all the resources and the new features are not good enough to keep up? And that's not all as well. I don't want to stop there. I might as well carry on. They're also making changes to the games that have been the same for all time, and then they're coming out and going, well, no, that should never have been the case. So supposedly what's been announced today is that Spider-Man should never have been hacked. They've always been being able to be hacked because of a defense. So why would they not? You can hack bots, you can hack combats, you can hack defenses unless you've got anti-hack. Spider-Man don't have anti-hack. So why can't we hack Spider-Mans? It's always been the way, always. And these are the sort of annoying things people get annoyed with. I don't see how it's an exploit by having Spider-Man's hackable. Someone mentioned hacking a defense out of Solus and Solus triggering outpost bots. That's an easy fix. Stop Solus from triggering outposts. Simple. Like they did with the Hover turret. It's exactly the same. Hover's turret used to be able to pop outposts, and they stopped that. And they're making changes to the game that don't need changing. I would rather them spend that time fixing things that don't need to be fixed and fixing things that do need to be fixed. There's plenty of things that need to be fixed, and they're focusing on the wrong things. They're focusing on things that don't need fixing. And to be honest with you, I've kind of lost faith that the team can actually even bring this back. They lack any vision. They lack any kind of forethought in where the game is going. There's no roadmap, I believe. I think they react rather than be proactive in having an idea on what they want to do over the next year or two, other than releasing bots, releasing combats to try and make money. But that's not going to work for everyone. Some people want good content that's going to make a difference in the game. Make people want to spend, make people want to play. That's the big thing for me. What do you guys think? You know, do you have a reason to play still? Are you a newer player and think that there's enough going on? Is it that, you know, higher players like myself are just spoiled, really? We've got everything. You know, our prime's really that good for lower players. Is it just a cool feature for people that know who the primes are to want to log in and chase the primes? Let me know what you guys think in the chat, and let me know how you use the primes and whether you're looking forward to more primes coming out and how you think they're going to work. Let me know. Tito, say it louder for those in the back. Yay! Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Freezes, good point. Biggest issue is creating new stuff and letting it die. Well, yeah, let's be honest. All they do is they bring out something and go, here's another level. Like they've done with the Titans. The tech tree, they just add more level, I feel. That's all they'll do. Matter, does anyone know the total XP required for a Prime to 70? You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Like I said, my Prime at just level 52 is 20 mil. And to give you an idea, let's look at 20 mil. Let's see how much 20 mil is. Trying to find a bot that takes 20 mil. Yeah, level 65 is 35 mil. There we go. So a level 52 prime is the same as a level 62 bot. So by that reckoning, a level 61 prime will take 66 million spark XP at level 61. Level 70, you're talking about 100 mil XP for level 70, just that one level. Just that one level. 69.70, I'm betting. Crazy. What's this war stories? Cheeto, fixed primes by making them twice as strong when using defense. They can't do that. They can't make them. Not that they can't do that, as in like they can't and they shouldn't. They haven't got the tech yet to put them on defense. But my argument is, why not? Why bring something out if it's not available like that? Also, Phil's put every defense should be hackable. There's a counter to that. Yeah, there's even like obviously more counters than what there should be, but you know. Darkland's too much hack immunity is stupid. I agree. Yeah. Jeff Ends put what? No hacking Spider-Man. Make it make sense. I can't. I can't make it make sense. Yeah. And yeah, Cheeto agrees. I think Mattis put I would rather have had HU19 and a 9th bot squad. But a 9th bot spot in the squad won't have made much money, would it? Because you've already got the bots leveled. So how are they going to make money? By introducing something new. And I kind of get that is the process, but make people need it at least. Berserk, but they need to remove immunity, not add them. I think it's about right in terms of hack immunity. I think I do, but no more. King Vinland's put you haven't said anything wrong about the Prime's introduction and lack of a plan. Players create the expectation that content equals acceptance no matter the quality. Maybe, yeah. Callum's put aggressive. Oh, Callum's in the chat. Oh, great. Aggressively taking notes. I think it's a bit late for that, personally. I do. I think it's far too late. When does a Requiem Blaster come out? Don't know. I don't think they know either. If I'm honest. Darkland, yeah. Darkland has got a good point there. Sadly though, a 53 prime does not equal a 60 plus bot. 100% agree. There's the point I'm making. Why would you put 20 mil, 66 mil into a level 61 prime that's going to stand there and be a rubbish meat shield over a bot that will actually help you win a war? I don't know. And this is why this weekend's event, Megatronus Prime Spark, you can keep it. I don't want it. Am I leveling my prime? Nope. Not going to bother. Brand new content. This is what gets me mad. Brand new content I was really excited for. Really looking forward to. And you can probably tell that in the video I was making. I was like, yes, primes are here, yes. And now I'm sat here literally, what, a week later? Saying, nah, I can't bother with it. Don't want it. Such a shame. It really is. Jesus, but they keep adding to the offensive side of things when defense is already non-existent. Like I said earlier, though, this is the problem, though, is that there's not enough top players in the top alliances to fill the alliances at a harder level. And so they're sort of stuck pandering to players that are struggling with these effects even. There's too many, sadly, there's too many Cybertron players in Prime. And the problem is that they make Prime as Prime should be, and those Cybertron players drop back down to Cybertron again where they should play, then sadly there's not enough players to fill the Prime alliances then. That's the problem. Callum's put working on a comprehensive wiki page which explains the primes, levels, artifacts, and more importantly showing why there's something to go for. But why is that not all there already? This should have been out before the primes. Why afterwards? It's ridiculous. It really... I don't get it. There's no company in the world that brings something out and then advertises 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. They advertise before it and go, this is coming out. You want this. Look out for it. Or even at launch, at a push. Not weeks later. But yeah. I know, but I don't want this sort of back and forth, me and Callum just sort of talking. And Callum's just put, I totally agree, and a frustration that I've shared before you. I know, but there's only so many times you can do this. New Yodo, same old Space Ape. We need more people, got more people, nothing changes. Blame the crossover finished, nothing changes. It's the same really, really poor content. Yeah, listen, I'm just saying what Dallas has put. I wasn't even reading that. I just looked at the screen. It's put, that's what happens when bad content is put out time and time again. That is the nail on the head. time and time and time and time and time again. Poor content, useless content, content that doesn't get anyone excited or invigorated at all. And this is the problem. People then switch off. People go and play other games. People stop playing the game. And all of a sudden, then your numbers dwindle. And because your numbers dwindle, you're stuck in this sort of situation we are now, where you can't fill enough players to play the game effectively. I don't know how you get them players back. I don't think you can get them players back because again, the trust is gone. There's literally no trust in the team. I don't think you'll find a single person, which is sad, even content creators, that will come out and say, we have faith in the team pulling this back. Not one. I mean, Freeze in the chat, CF's in the chat. Ask them. I'd be surprised. I mean, it's not for me to say, really, I suppose, their own people. But I think you'll struggle to find someone that's. I mean, listen, I supported the team for a long time. Not a long time, but the last 6 to 9 months. You know. Said, like, you know, stick with it, guys. I put my neck on the line saying, stick with it, guys. Things are going to get better. And that's what probably hurts the most. Is that I took a lot of flack. Maybe we've lost some followers by doing that. By having faith in the team. I won't do it again. Yeah, Blade 19s, but let people know what's coming. Let them be excited to play and look forward to something that's coming out. Yeah, 100%. 100%, because right now, I ain't excited. Wesley Souza, thanks for joining. I think that is Spanish or Portuguese. I don't speak Spanish or Portuguese, sadly. Tracks, we don't mention that name in here. Come on. Even for a mod. But yeah, he was a bit out of order though. I'll still stand by that. It wasn't great. But listen, before I've done this stream, this is the point I'm making. I don't want to keep going about that sort of stuff. Or that drama. But before I did this, I went and spoke to the team previously. And you can ask them that. I went and spoke to them about what's the plan like. Have you got anything noticed? And didn't really get an answer. And so that's why I'm doing this now. Because I've already asked. If they'd have said to me, this is the plan, was a bang, 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 I'd have been on the stream saying, listen, guys, they've got a plan. Stick with it. But there is no plan. CF Tactics Support was seriously disappointed with the primes on live, but we didn't get good direction in testing them either. Yeah, you're not wrong. It wasn't loyal to a fault. He wasn't. If it was loyal to a fault, it'd still be there. Yeah. Is there even a saga schedule coming out? Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. Nothing is different. I'm not gonna lie, I'm deadly honest with you. A part of me didn't want to stream tonight because I was like, I know I'm gonna get like this. I know I'm gonna get worked up. I know I'm gonna get annoyed. And it's just, I just feel like I'm just going over old stuff again as being negative. But there's very little reason to positive right now. That's how I feel. I was positive about the change to combiners in the event. That's a good change. That's something to be positive about. But is it going to be every weekend? Probably not. So yeah. 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 Yeah, but listen, I just feel like the team hide behind Callum and Dale, and I understand it's their job to try and protect them to a degree. I don't think they do. I don't think they lie to us, things like that. But they can't obviously speak what they actually think, really, because they are part of the team. But I do feel like they hide behind them and let them take the flak. And they come to them with this and this is happening, that's happening, and the team, they're not happy. And I honestly do feel like the team go, oh, okay. And that's it. That is it. I don't think the team realise the dire straits the game is in. I really don't. I really think they're oblivious because they can't, honestly, they can't understand where the game's at. They can't do. They could not see where the game is at and react the way they do. Because it's either they're oblivious or don't care. I've never said they don't care before. But it baffles me. Baffles me how they can bring out poor content constantly. And be so proud of it as well. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like an absolute bitch. I don't like swearing, but in my streams. I don't want to come out like a bitch, but there's not much to be proud of at the minute. Honestly. Yeah, Traxxas put Dale showed what he was saying about Spider-Man, claiming they popped outballs and combiners. And we're all like, are you mental? Yeah, that's what I mean though. So has Dale been told that by a player and he's took that as gospel rather than going to people first and going, listen, does this happen? If Dale would have hit me up, I'm not saying that Dale should hit me up all the time. I'm just saying I think most players would react like this. If Dale would have hit most players up and gone, is hacking Spider-Man's a problem? I think most people would have gone, no, not really. No. If it would have said to me, like, is Solar's popping outpost problem? I'd have gone, I didn't know it did that. But yeah, it is. That needs fixing. Yeah. Traxxas put, they're not even going to people who have enough knowledge. Yeah, should have tested it himself. I know it doesn't play the game as much as I understand that. I understand having playtesters for that. But they don't utilise playtesters in that way. Prime stream should have been true Q&A with the dev team for the future of the game and changes, not for new content. Well, they're just going to advertise new content, aren't they? That's what they do. Matty, I'm guessing the Primes are rushed because of the licensing, maybe. I don't know. Well, everything's rushed, isn't it? Michael Nixon's put, it is sad, it is. A lot of games get it. I love playing Eve Echoes, but the new content coming up did nothing to improve the game, just a cash grab. Yeah, I kind of feel like that. Yeah. Preserves put, we know the CMs are the buffer between the team, but they should not go out of their way to justify or argue things. Take the feedback, give it carefully thought, thorough response when able. Yeah. Freezes Max has put, I had to replay what I was saying that. You sound like my streams now with that language. Metabez put, I was a Q&A live stream with the whole team will be an interrogation. I won't have the devs on because they won't be able to hack it. They wouldn't like it. Because when I talk to Dale, I understand that when asking questions, and Dale, to be fair, has always said, like, I'll answer any question, but there's certain questions he can't answer. I understand that. Because don't forget, he's under an NDA and he can't discuss some things. And so I'm not as harsh on Dale because I understand it's not his fault. He's just a spokesperson for them. But if the devs are there and they're going to talk nonsense, I would call them out. Let you guys know. I've never been afraid to call them out and go, listen, you're talking BS. You haven't got a clue what you're talking about. And that's the problem. That's why I had an option to bring Yanis on. Part of me didn't want it on. Part of me did, thought it'd be really cool. Part of me was like, you know, I don't want him on. Because I think I'd come across really poor. Listen, some people like it, some people don't. I get it, you know, I'm a Marmite sort of guy. But, you know, even with the whole Valve thing and all this, listen, I've always been honest. Always. I've always been honest. And I always say to people, even in real life, you know, I'm very honest with people, very open, I'll say what I think, even if people don't like it. And then people sometimes, I'll say something and they go, I don't really believe you. And I go, when's the last time that I lied to you? When's the last time that I told you a lot of bullshit? When? Tell me. You won't find me. You won't find it. Because even when I said something, people go like, did you say this? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I did. Because I don't say anything that I won't say to your face anyway. I might say behind your back some talk to someone. I might say to Trax, oh, Grind Time annoyed me the other day. But if Grind Time said to me, did you say to Trax that I annoyed you the other day? I'd be like, yeah, you did annoy me the other day. Because that's the truth. I mean, not Grind Time. I love Grind Time. Just an example, because they're both my mods. But you get what I'm saying, you know. Never say, I always believe that. Never say anything you wouldn't say to someone's face. You know. Tracks need, maybe they just need to get out of their comfort zone. Better to have a better understanding and have a paycheck than sit in the ivory tower. I don't think they're bothered in that sense. I don't think they want to talk to the players. I don't think they can. Tracks, great. Now everyone's gonna think I'm a snitch. Well, friendly fire. You tell potty mouth. You actually swear quite a bit in real life. When I was younger, like, oh, my friends were like, don't bring the kids around was because they swear a bit. I just don't know. I just feel like on stream you should try and be a bit more professional and a bit more not swear as much. I feel. I swear when I get annoyed. Twas language has changed. The game is ending. I thought about, you know what? If I left this game with another game, when I start my streams again, I'm definitely gonna swear. I feel like I've already started it now, so I can't change it. I can't go back on myself and start swearing in stream. It feels weird. And I've also got a stream voice. I actually changed my voice slightly so that people from America can understand it. Because normally I talk like, you know what I mean? Like, quite lower. I've got quite a broad accent. So I kind of talk a bit with a high-pitched voice, just so people can understand it better and try and pronounce my words correctly. Rather than correctly. With an E. Let's hear it. I don't know. See, we words like don't know. I'd say don't know. But when I talk, I say I don't know. Calling money on the map. I know, yeah. I've got a very strong accent. More strong than what I let on. And again, like, if you talk to me in real life, then you'd think you'd realise it a bit more. It's your phone voice, what you'd call it, you know. But yeah. It wasn't that bad at TF Nation. Yeah, well, yeah, that's still my streaming voice. I need a few drinks down me first. I'm very broad. Honestly, everyone I talk to is like, whoa, God, are you from Salford? Which is like the broadest accent in Manchester. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But, yeah. I still try and... It all came from when I first started streaming and people were saying that they couldn't understand me. I was talking Australian. Let's not get into that. So, we're going to end the stream there, guys, because all I'm doing now is just waffling rubbish. Because, yeah. If we get him out of saying no and saying 0, are we happy? Yeah, it's still not. No, I've had so many people, ask me about that, going, what is that word you said? I was like, no, nothing, 0, no. I don't understand how Americans don't use that. Yeah. King Grimlock, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That's my American accent like that, yeah. Cool. All right, go and check out previous stream, guys. Go straight after mine or thereabouts. Go and check that out. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Sorry, went a bit of a towards the end, a bit of a crash and burn really. Just got into a rant, but can't help myself sometimes. Get a bit worked up with something. Obviously, we love the game, and we try and want the best of the game. Hopefully. But yeah. See you next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. And peace out.